Welcome back to IrelandAM. Now, new lower speed limits on rural roads and urban come into force on Friday. This is in a bid to reduce road fatalities.
But is this the answer to improving road safety? Here to discuss is motoring editor with the Sunday Independent, Geraldine Herbert, and motor dealer and owner of Ashford Motors, Nadia Adan. Good morning to you both.
Guys.
Great to have you with us. So, Geraldine, these new road signs, rural roads, are going to be in on Friday morning. Is that right? Can you give us an update on what exactly we're going to see on Friday?
OK, just a quick background. There was a speed limit review in 2023 by various different bodies, the Department of Transport, the Guards, local authorities, National Transport Authority, TII. They made a number of recommendations to the government. The government took them on board. They changed the law. The first of those changes will come in on Friday to rural local roads. Now, for anybody listening, they're L roads. They're the roads that link local communities. So, they're not going to impact on travel times because these are rural. They're local in their network. The idea behind it is, number one, obviously, there was 174 people died on our road last year, so therefore on our roads last year. So therefore, this is a bid to cut fatalities and collisions. But it's also, these are roads that link local communities, so it's about also making them safer for walkers, for cyclists, so kids can cycle to school. And most of these roads cannot take speed limits above 60. So this is kind of just a sensible approach more than anything.
OK, so these are the first of the speed, because there's more limits that are coming
later,
in throughout the year. They're going to be reducing road limits. What's been the reaction? Because I haven't heard a huge amount. Is this the
easiest one? Yeah, is this, they've started off with a one, as you say, it's not going to have a massive impact.
Rather than people using it as through roads to make their journey quicker, this is about local communities.
Absolutely. These are roads that link local communities.
OK, Nadia, what do you make of all of this? Because I know you've taken a strong view on the proposals, because they're going to go into secondary roads. They're going to reduce speed limits from 80 to 60 on certain roads. They're doing it in urban centres from 50 to 30 as well. What do you make of the overall proposed plan?
Yeah, I think we all want safer roads, and, the rise in deaths on the roads is absolutely terrible. And I welcome any measures that looks at this, but I think there's questions that are here on a whole level that just need to be answered. And, I speak to a lot of customers every week, so I'm really hearing what motorists, are kind of thinking about. And none of them knew this was coming in. Like, everyone I spoke to last week didn't know this was happening. So is there been a really proper awareness campaign by the government to sort of roll this out? And if that's not the case, do young drivers know that this is happening? We really need people to buy into this and to respect the speed limits that come in. And if everybody doesn't know about it, or if there's confusion over what roads it's going to be. Another interesting thing I heard from a customer is that they said when they go from a rural road to a local road, sometimes the rural road matches what the local road looks like because they're the same size and width. So what happens then if there's that confusion? And this shouldn't be about, shooting the fish in the barrel and trying to catch people out. It should be about educating people, and so that everybody knows this is happening, we respect it. If the public don't buy it, then there's going to be a complete distrust in it, and it's not going to work.
So you'd like more awareness. Anything else you're hearing from motorists? Do you hear that could improve what we're seeing out in the roads?
Yeah, a lot. Driver education, the infrastructure, the roads. I've driven all over the world, and I was just in Germany over there at Christmas time on the Autobahn, which speed is not a problem over there. And even when it's minus, 20 degrees over there and there's 3 foot of snow on both sides of the road, the driving conditions are perfect.
So the quality of roads in Ireland?
Quality of the roads, the surface. I have really big tyres on my car, and every time I go over a pothole, I feel that pothole. So, yeah, hedging, that type of thing.
We'd love to hear from you this morning in relation to this. Did you know about these new speed limits, 0896 111 111? Geraldine, we had that very sad case in Carlow last week. 2 people lost their lives, and a stretch of road where 2 people had previously lost their lives the year before. 4 people had... we can bring in all these things that we want, but we know that there are certain black spots. There are issues around the country that local communities are crying out about, and then other people are shouting, going, we've got a fantastic motorway and we're making people are going 100 kilometres on it. We need to get more joined up thinking about what's actually going on.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about it. We need to spend more money on roads. We have coroners making recommendations, on a weekly basis about certain, as you say, black spots on roads that need improving. We need to do that. We know if we look at the likes of Sweden, they invest hugely in their road infrastructure. So we do need to do that. In terms of driver education, absolutely, we need to train our young drivers on how to, drive on motorways. motorways, because the problem is when they qualify, they don't go on motorways. They shy away from them because they don't know how to drive on them, and they use
That's
the
wild,
riskier
isn't it?
roads. Yeah.
So you get your test, you're allowed to drive on a motorway, having never been on one.
Absolutely. But the other thing is we need to recognise that driver education is not a silver bullet. Like, people don't get behind the wheel drunk or drugged or speed or use mobile phones because they don't know it's wrong. They do it because there's a really very little risk of getting caught. So enforcement is key. So there's a huge amount of things we need to do.
We're going against the tide because we were doing so well on, like, it's terrible to talk about people's lives and deaths on this league table. It's so horrible. These are people's lives. It was going down after COVID. Everything seems to have gone the other way. Is there an onus here on manufacturers as well, Nadia? Because like, we could go into a car, they could turn our phone off. Like, surely there has to be something done, because we know that we're getting more and more distracted, that there's more and more buttons on the car, that there's more and more technology. Do manufacturers have to take some onus in this and go, lads, maybe we'll go back to some analogue cars?
Well, in reality, there's so much tech now in cars. You know, there's lanes, change assist, there's sensors. So really, like, it should be harder to crash your car.
But lane change assist on an Irish rural road makes no sense, because the road goes like this, and it just wants a straight road from Germany.
Yeah.
And we don't have that.
And there's the big screens, as you said. I suppose the upside to that is, like, when I get into the car now, I put my phone in the glove box, because I think everybody's just gotten so used to having their phones in the car, and that the big screen, and trying to get used to, like, having the Apple CarPlay and the Google Maps and stuff like that. So part of it is good in one sense, because it does take your, I suppose, eyes, just keep it on the road. And even the likes of, like, heads-up display, you've got the speed there on your screen, so you should be, like, have that at all times in your eyesight.
So if there was one thing that you think should be brought in, if you don't think maybe the speeds are exactly correct, what would you like to see?
Drivers' education. I completely agree with Geraldine, what she was saying there.
How?
You know,
in what way?
As in, like, you know, OK, if you go over the speed limit, maybe there's an option of you get the fine or the points, or you spend Saturday at a driver's ed course, which I think would add so much value to people if there was someone there drilling it into you, you know, the rules of the road. And also to what Geraldine was saying, like, don't look at the drivers of now. Let's look at our young drivers, maybe put it into transition year for students, and just have that more kind of reinforcement for them.
What are you hearing from the motoring industry in relation to all of this? Because we do have more things coming down. People are getting angry, going, well, there's going to be more congestion in cities. There's going to be this, and people seem very het up about this.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the lack of communication. People don't realise, as we said, these are rural roads. These are roads that link with local communities. They're not going to delay your journeys in the morning. The other changes that are coming in, again, are urban areas. This is across Europe. People are doing, you know, cities are doing this. They're reducing speed limits. So because cities are places where we share, there's cars, there's people, there's cyclists, you know, we need to make...
Scooters, pedestrians,
speeds have to be safe for all of those. And later then, we will see the national secondary roads. That comes down to a lack of investment. If we could separate traffic, we could have higher speed. We can't separate traffic, so the risk of a head-on collision is too high. That's what the issue is there.
Wow. OK, well, listen, let us know what you think about this. Obviously, these new rules are coming into fruition on Friday. The signs are all going to change overnight.
We hope.
We hope. We don't know. That's the thing.
This is it. But what do you think would make a difference and make our roads that bit safer? Get in touch with us. 0896 111 111. Warren has an idea in her article this week, and it's just about waving.
It is. I think in certain areas, if you said thank you, if someone let you out, we'd be chill on the road. It's not my whole nationwide idea, but yeah, say thank you today.
Where can we read that?
There's someone, Irish Country Magazine.
There you go.
Geraldine Herbert, motoring editor with the Sunday Independent, and Nadia Adan from Ashford Motors. Thank you both for coming in and chatting with us this morning.